It is Thursday. It's the 28th of March. I'm Monita Rajpal. This is CNN News Center live from Hong Kong. Our top stories today. We begin News Center with the latest on the health of former South African President Nelson Mandela. The government has released a statement saying the 94-year-old is back in hospital. He's being treated for a recurring lung infection. A government statement says the former president was conscious when he was brought in just before midnight on Wednesday. CNN's Errol Barnett has more now from our bureau in Johannesburg. Errol.
Monita, because we are dealing here with a South African icon, and there's always interest from not just South Africa but around the world. We
understand, as we were saying at the top of the show, that he was admitted to hospital just shortly before midnight Wednesday, early Thursday morning, we could say, and it's now been a few hours since he has been in hospital. No doubt he has already undergone some preliminary assessment and treatment. In terms of, and this is certainly a test, isn't it, for the government in terms of how they manage the kind of information that comes out of the hospital, and how the kind of reaction the people of South Africa and the world will take this information.
Yes, and they are being continually tested, aren't they? The last time Nelson Mandela...
In South Africa, and lawyers for double amputee and Olympian Oscar Pistorius are in court right now to appeal his bail conditions. The South African athlete is charged with murdering his girlfriend, Reva Steenkamp. His lawyers will argue for more lenient bail restrictions, including permission to travel overseas. Pistorius is due back in court to face the murder charge in June. The U.S. has sent two B-2 stealth bombers to South Korea to take part in joint military exercises. The planes flew more than 10,000 kilometers to South Korea from an Air Force base in the U.S. state of Missouri. They dropped inert munitions as part of the exercises and returned to the U.S. mainland. Many experts are calling it the biggest cyber attack ever, causing internet problems worldwide on Wednesday. But the internet spam blocking service that was the target says it's been under attack for more than a week. It's already affected a range of internet services, and there are fears it could get worse. The suspect in the mass shooting at a Colorado movie theater last year is offering a plea deal. James Holmes would plead guilty and spend his life in jail in exchange for avoiding the death penalty. But prosecuting attorneys have not accepted the deal just yet. They are expected to make a decision on whether to seek the death penalty by next week. The trial date has been set for August 5th. A doctor in Brazil is accused of killing 7 patients to free up hospital beds. In the city of Curitiba, Virginia Helena Soares de Souza has appeared in court. Prosecutors accuse her of helping give lethal doses of medicines to intensive care patients and reducing their oxygen supplies. Authorities are now reviewing the deaths of almost 300 other patients who died in her care. Tight restrictions and tight security, that is the reality for people in Cyprus right now as banks open for business for the first time in nearly 2 weeks. The financial freeze was lifted about half an hour ago. The banks had been closed for 12 days while the government negotiated a controversial bailout agreement with the European Union. But he is in place at a number of banks. CNN's senior international correspondent Ivan Watson is at a Bank of Cyprus branch in Nicosia, and he joins us live. And how's it looking where you are there, Ivan? All right. Ivan, thank you for that. Ivan Watson there in Nicosia. You are watching CNN News Center live from Hong Kong. Pope Francis sets a humble tone as Christians get ready for their most symbolic time of year. Watching CNN News Center live from Hong Kong, I'm Monita Rajpal. A teacher who worked at an all-girls school in Pakistan has been shot dead. Shahnaz Nazli was killed as she was walking to work in the tribal Khyber district. The killing echoes last year's attack on schoolgirl Malala Yousafzai and is increasing pressure on Pakistan's government to do more to protect women's rights to education. CNN's Nick Robertson joins us now from Islamabad. And Nick, is there any more word on the suspects?
No claim of responsibility so far, Monita.
Right, Nick, thank you for that. Nick Robertson there in Islamabad. Pope Francis is holding special ceremonies today in the lead-up to his first Easter as pontiff. He is holding a mass this morning in St. Peter's Basilica at the Vatican and this evening in Rome. Ben.
Yes, Monita, this is really a break from tradition. Normally, popes will go to a papal basilica.
Ben, thank you very much for that. Ben Wiedemann reporting to us there live from Rome. You are watching CNN News Center live from Hong Kong. The streak is over. Miami's quest for history came crashing down in Chicago. We're watching CNN News Center live from Hong Kong. I guess it was time for a bit of a cool down for the Miami Heat team. The team suffered its first loss in almost 2 months. World Sports' Alex Thomas has the details. Hey, Alex.
Yeah, hi, Monita. It wasn't only the NBA's second best streak, but also the second longest winning run in American sporting history. I'll be back in a couple of hours' time. For now, Monita, back to you in Hong Kong.
Okie doke. Alex, thank you very much for that. It's an invasion by the millions. We're talking about an insect that's wreaking havoc in Madagascar. Meteorologist Mari Ramos is at the World Weather Center. Mari, I don't like thinking about it.
Oh my gosh, it's terrible. It's hard to imagine, but really by the millions, Monita. And you're thinking, well, what does this have to do with weather? Well, the wet conditions, the rain.
Mari, thank you very much for that. You are watching CNN News Center. I'm Monita Rajpal, live at CNN Hong Kong. Thank you for joining us. Stick around, though. We'll update you with the news headlines in just a couple of minutes.
This is the #1 international news brand. This is CNN.